Follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, on Twitter at Mainland FM. We are the sound of Lagos.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Ōpeyemi Akinyode as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you, roommates, as we discuss the situations.
Hello and welcome to the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. My name is Sage Babalola. It is the Situation Room. Every day for 90 minutes we come together to have conversations around politics, policy, state of the nation, whatever the conversation might be, as long as it has to do with our national health, we're talking about it here. My tagline, as I always would say, if it is a situation, we're most certainly talking about it on this platform. Welcome once again. It is the last day in the month of January, 31 days. Very eventful. If you listen to the program in the morning, I had mentioned how very eventful, even a rundown of all the things that had happened over the course of the 4 weeks in the month of January. And we're only hopeful that the month of February is a lot kinder to us. We are all expectant. We're hoping that we're able to make headway and surmount the many challenges we had to deal with in the month of January. But regardless, we still have to bring to the fore issues that affect you, issues that affect me, issues that affect us as a population, as a demographic, as a nation, issues that affect even those at the helm of affairs, those within the political landscape, those that make decisions for us in terms of policy, those that control the financial market, amongst other things. It's important that we know these things so that we're aware. And when these things become popular, we're not shocked, or when the ripple effect of a lot of these things start to manifest, we're not shocked because we had followed through from the very beginning. Once again, welcome to the program. It is the Situation Room, the Friday edition. Like I said, the last day in the month of January, the 31st. The next time you'll be hearing our voice on this station, on the Situation Room, it would be the month of February. Well, today being Friday, what we're going to do is have a conversation around the most prominent stories since the start of the week. Conversations that have been somewhat repetitive throughout the course of the week. There are a lot of stories that were developing stories. It started, well, maybe last week, and it ran through the entire week. Even up until this very morning, we were still having conversations about it, because with every passing moment, there's a development regarding these stories. And so what we're going to do today is bring all these issues collectively to the fore, bring it to radio on this episode. We'll have brief conversations about it, provide you with details. I know that sometimes information overload can just have you overwhelmed, that you don't even remember the details of these stories. Well, that's why we're here. We're your reminder. We are your alarm clock. We'll give you all the details, remind you of all the most significant parts of the story, and then have an expert opinion on these stories. Ultimately, we open the phone line and also remind you of our streaming platform so that you can participate and drop your submission on all of these stories. That's the plan for the Situation Room for today being Friday. Sage Babalola is my name once again. As much as this is more like an open conversation, I still want to give it some sort of structure, which is why I would have joining me via the phone line for today's discuss. Mazi Chinedum Obioha is a public affairs analyst. A lot of you are quite familiar with him. We'll be talking about all of these stories, all of these trendy stories, all of these developing stories before we then open the phone lines to get your idea. Mazi, good evening to you. Thank you for being here as always. You never turn us down. That's such a nice thing. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Babalanda. I think, let me say Happy New Year.
Yes.
And a happy last Friday of the month. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me once again.
Yes, and
I'm
thank you
back to
too.
Lagos and back
so
to the
nice.
coast.
I hope that we can have you join us live one of these days, because most times, you're in the east or you have other engagements in Lagos. I hope that one day you'd have time and come and see us here. You don't like us, Mazi. Why don't you want to come?
No, I do.
I know, I'm joking. Yes.
I'm at your service at any given time.
I know. All right. Well, let's get into the discourse for this evening. Like I said, it's going to be a rundown of some of the most significant stories, and I think we can actually start with the most, well, should I say, the most popular story, which happens to be the whole conversation around the tariff hike, the telecommunication tariff hike, 50%, and the reaction that have actually trailed this tariff hike. Now, the Nigeria Labour Congress, which is the most recent development of this update, have decided to go on a nationwide protest against the 50% increase in telecommunication tariff. They're planning Wednesday, the 4th of February 2025. They're saying that if the NCC does not reverse their approval of the 50% tariff hike in telecommunication, they're going to shut down the nation. They're going to boycott telecom operations. Mind you, NATCOM is choosing to take them to court. NATCOM is choosing to sue the NCC for approving the 50% hike. But NLC is saying, we are going to take to the streets. We're going to boycott your service if you don't reverse this 50% increase, or at least bring it down to 10%. So the question I'm trying to ask, really, what do you think about the position of the NLC on this hike and this notion of unfairness to the telecom operators? And I say unfairness because every aspect of our economy, cost of operation, cost of service have actually gone up. Electricity, the whole band arrangement, the cost of PMS has gone up, the cost of transportation has gone up. Every other sector of this economy, even government-run agencies, have increased their prices. What do you think about the position of the NLC, such that they are choosing to face only the telecom agencies or operators because they settle for a 50% tariff? What are your thoughts, Mazi?
Yeah, Sage, thank you once again. I think if there's anything the labor need to do is to, especially the leadership, if there's anything they needed to do urgently is to resign. Because they've disappointed Nigerians, especially Nigerian workers and Nigerians in totality. Because is it now they are waking up? I think the telecommunication industry is fair in accepting 50% out of the 100% they proposed. They are fair. You just mentioned the rundown, how everything, including the air we breathe, has gone up. So I think, in the studio there now, how much the cost of diesel your organization spend in a day powering the generator and things like that. The cost of fueling, the cost of a bag of rice. I think they should get something doing. If they are calling out for other demonstration and things like that, where were they when they proposed 600,000 naira minimum wage, and the federal government banned them, struggled them, and coerced them to accept just 70,000 naira? How much is a bag of rice? A bag of rice is 200,000 naira. The minimum wage is 70,000 naira, and labor did not say no, we didn't accept that. Where were they when naira was floated? Where were they when the tariff for power was increased? So all these things, I think they don't have anything to do. The 50% increase in telecommunication tariff is justified. I think, to me, that's my personal opinion. Your station is the third station I'm discussing this. I think we all agree that they are fair, because the federal government is quite insensitive to the plight of the Nigerians. They kept on increasing everything. Our lawmakers are buying cars. Look at what happened during the Christmas, right? How much was a bag of fries? How much was transport fare? I paid 60,000 from here to Lagos. What are they saying? Actually, then to balance it, if they are to sustain, the telecommunications, if they've accepted the increment of 50% in their tariff, they should justify it by a corresponding improve in their services. I remembered in December there was nothing like network. Remember last time on that Christmas day when I was on air with you, we were struggling to get network.
Yeah.
So if they should now go for 50% increase in their tariff, there should be a corresponding improvement in their services. So then the labor also should fight that they should now have a competitor where they will be forced to bring down their tariff. You remember when this telecommunication came on board? If you make a call 1.8 minutes, they charge 2 minutes. But until when another telecommunication came on board and started charging per second, they not reverse it. So these are the areas they should go, not to fight it. I think it is justified. To me, justified. So the federal government, are they now saying what? The federal government they have no justification to say it is not fair. After all, they were the one that approved 50%. The federal government kept us without considering the plight of the masses. Everything is being increased. Everything is being increased. Even the air we breathe increased. So nothing. There's nothing. So Labour should find alternative means of going about their demonstration strike.
All right, let's come out a little bit and look at our position in the international community. As you know, Donald Trump is president. He's been president since the 10th of January, the 20th, beg your pardon, or thereabout, and he has signed a number of executive orders. Now, one of the purposes of Donald Trump, something he's been very passionate about, it had reported that about 3,000 to 5,000 Nigerians would move from these Nigerians that are going to be deported, or most likely going to be deported from the United States, right? But the question I would like us to address here is that, are we really equipped to receive 3,000 to 5,000 people into the country? Is this going to constitute a problem for us, this sudden social shift? Is this going to become a problem for us? And what does this really tell the Nigerian government? The fact that we have suddenly seen some sort of shake, we've seen a sudden shift. And so what lessons should we learn as a society, as a country from this? And also, most importantly, are we ready? Do we have the capacity to suddenly receive 3,000 to 5,000 people that would most likely be deported from the United States of America because of Trump's decision to rid America of those he referred to as criminals?
Well, it's unfortunate. It's very embarrassing to Nigerian government and Nigerians. It's very embarrassing, but there's nothing they can do. Your question is, are we ready? We are not ready. You see, and for those of us who is supporting that idea, we are saying, you don't stay in somebody's land and develop it and leave your own. It's because of there's no level playing ground, because of high insecurity in the country, because of lack of job. Everything is upside down in the country. That's why some of them jump at, including some of my relations. Where are the infrastructures? What are the things that this between 3,000 and 5,000 people to be deported? It's going to cause nuisance. People, some of them will hide, even in the toilet. Some of them may prefer to be jailed there. Because what are they coming to do? But I like some of the statements the President Trump said. He said, go back and develop your country. Go back and fight your leaders. If you are there playing tribalism, nepotism, if you are there looking at their leaders, stealing your money, instead of using it to build roads, hospitals. You are now going there. Our politicians, our leaders are going to where there are better things, better hospitals, better schools to obtain medical care, send their children. Why leaving your own? Look at the issue of Ekuremado. If we have a proper hospital, a good functional hospital, will Ekuremado now be able to look for somebody to be either hijacked or hired or paid for the kidney transplant? So it is all these things. Trump has made it that America should remain for Americans. And that is how a leader should take a stand. Trump said it. It's only in Nigeria that our borders are porous. Go to the north. We don't know who's in Nigeria. We don't know who's not in Nigeria. We don't know how many we are. We don't know. We cannot take accurate census. America is an unorganized area. And this is it. So those of us who kept on canceling, writing election results, for those of us in the judiciary, manipulating everything, it's a call for questioning. It's a time we should wake up. And we, the masses, it's a time we say, our leaders, we must hold you accountable. You see, last night I had a news where one of the chairman of a board was being arraigned by EFCC for mismanaging billions of naira meant for the development of the people. A minister is given his allocated huge sum of money to develop a certain quarter. He embezzled it. All of them are after what comes to me. Selfishness, self-centered, greed are the detriment of the people, and the masses are not doing anything. Election is coming now. All of us will be struggling, excluding me. We'll be struggling to get a derrick of rice. It's my brother, it's his son, it's my son. Already, they've left governments, they've left insecurity. They are now planning for this. Look at, I read where the PDP is complaining. Though we are coming for that, we are coming to that. Everybody is saying that he accusing a ruling party of paying 50 million naira to some people to disturb. And of course, we don't have opposition party. We don't have opposition party at all. We don't have opposition party. Look at even those in Labour, they've joined. So we are gradually running into one party system where everything come as you are. Come and eat, don't make a noise. It's unfortunate. Trump should go ahead to do it and let it be a lesson. Not only America. I want to suggest that other developed countries should follow suit. Check out Nigerians and stop the politicians from coming there. Even our judiciaries, the judicial officials, should not be allowed to travel out. They should let there be a visa ban on them so that we will learn a lesson. We are now eating from the dustbin. We are eating from the dustbin. Before we came on air now, somebody called me from America and was shedding tears. We can look at how much a dollar to naira to a dollar. How much? How much was it last year? How much was it this year? How much was it when the present administration came on board? How much was a bag of rice? If you cannot sustain us, take us to where you met us, or where we vote for you. So that's the point. If you don't want your people, I remember last time you said those who can go can go. It's now done on us that Trump said enough is enough. America should remain for America. And he accused so many foreigners, including Nigeria, of cyber crimes. So that is that. That's what we can do. That's my position. We don't have the wherewithal to accommodate this. And there is no place for us. And they will find difficulties. Armed robbery will be the order of the day as it is now.
Thank you very much, Mazi Chinedum. We're still doing a rundown of the most prominent stories as reported this week for the final episode of the Situation Room for January 2025. We're live on Facebook, so please do well to join our live stream at Mainland 98.3 FM or facebook.com/Mainland 98.3 FM. We're streaming the program live. I'm Sage Babalola. I'm talking here with Mazi Chinedum Obioha, and together like I said, we're reviewing the most prominent stories, the developing stories that have been reported across all of our dailies since the start of the week on Monday up until this very moment. And we recently just spoke about Trump's decision to deport illegal immigrants, and Nigerians constitute about 3,000 to 5,000 of that particular population. So we might see at least 3,000 to 5,000 of our brothers and sisters who are in the United States illegally return home. Do we have the capacity to handle this influx? That's the question that I posed to Mazi Chinedum Obiorha. He of course believes that we do not have the structure to accommodate these individuals, and it's a wake-up call for us to develop our own country so that we don't see situations like this one. Talking about leadership, because you had mentioned leadership when you were speaking, that the reason people even leave in the first place is because they do not trust in the policies of our leaders. And what is leadership without a vibrant opposition? What is accountability without a vibrant opposition? Now, a party that is known to be the strongest opposition forces, or that is expected to be the strongest opposition force, is currently going through a very, very difficult time. Across board, both in the state, both at the national, things are not exactly looking up for the People's Democratic Party. In fact, they resorted to blows just a few days ago at the Board of Trustees meeting. They've not been able to, even a single neck meeting, they've not been able to hold because of the disputes within the party. And the most recent dispute amongst within the party, aside from the Wike Atiku Abubakar problem, Wike Fubara issue at the state level, there's also the issue about who is the national secretary of the party. You have the should I say, the struggle between Anyanwu and Ude Okoye, and like I said, it resulted to violence just a few days ago. So we're trying to make sense of this, Mazi Chinedum Obiorha. The viability of the opposition in the forthcoming election, that's what people are most concerned about, because we're looking to the PDP or any other opposition party. We need to be sure that they're strong enough to go toe-to-toe with the ruling party come 2027. But then there's so much infighting that people do not trust their strength anymore. There are also allegations that this infighting is sponsored, possibly by another party. I'll be discreet about that. So, what do you think about this accusation or this allegation that the infighting within other political parties that are supposed to serve as opposition is sponsored? And also, what do you think about the viability, the strength of these parties to actually stand as an opposition come 2027? And do you see the possibility of a resolution anytime soon?
Yes, you see, Trump, even in his statement, he said Nigerians stay in America should go back and carry out revolution. I don't know the type of revolution he wants. And I'm not. Let me stop there. But then you see, I have said it time and again in other platforms that opposition, and I make both to quote the present APC chairman Dangote. He said that they will not allow any opposition to be formidable, just like Labour did during the 2023 election. He said it. And by the way things are going, we just had election in Edo State. You saw what happened. You heard what happened. You read what happened. And those of us who also discussed it on air, some people said a particular party was ahead of the opposition. I mean the AP ahead with 10,000 votes allegedly anyway. But by between 12 and 1 a.m. the voting changed, and they said that they were glaringly manipulation, cancellation. That's the work of APC. And you know their slogan, go to court. Where will you go? So the question you ask me is that I don't foresee the possibility of having a strong opposition. Look at what happened during the trial, the presidential, after the election. You saw what happened. Apata and Labour. Apata was claiming to be the chairman of the Labour Party, and you saw what happened. Even in the court session, he was there. Was he doing that alone? Was he doing that on his own right thinking? To me, the answer is no. Then El-Rufai complained that The opposition, the ruling party is giving 50 million naira to some people in PDP to destabilize them. And they've not seen this. PDP themselves, have they pushed themselves? A house divided among itself cannot stand. Cannot stand. They are not organized, and that is the handwork of the ruling to make sure there's no formidable opposition. And they are working towards one party system. That is the basic truth about it. Look at what happened in Ondo State, the election. The same thing. And even some of the local government, look at what is happening in local government election. Do you see a credible local government election? A political party in power in that state wins the poll, including my own Abia. Just came back from Abia. They were telling me that in some areas, Abia, let me say it. Let them not say I'm attacking other states. My own Abia. During the election, during the local government election, remember the ruling party, Labour, I think only one seat there. The unknown party, unknown Labour Zenith party that is not known was the one the governor used to clear the whole 17 local government. So what happened in Rivers? So it's like if you are in a particular party, clear the whole, and that is what is happening in the federal. I am not sure. And again, Tinubu, our president, is a master strategist. In fact, he is a credible person when it comes to strategies. And that is why, let me come back, that is why no successful protest or strike will see the light of the day in this country, because he was a master planner. So he said it's his life ambition to be the president. Amechi said, if you think Tinubu will relinquish that power, give it to you, you are wasting your time. You have to struggle with it. And one of the strategies he's using is to make sure that he cripples any party that is suppressing. PDP.
The APC, especially via Felix Moka, they dismissed all these claims. For example, the claim by Atiku Abubakar that 50 million was paid. They said it's not true.
You are a reporter. You are a journalist.
Yeah.
What do you expect from him? What do you expect from? Do you expect him to close his mouth without saying anything? But when Rufai says something, Rufai doesn't miss his word. It was Rufai that about I think early last year that raised an alarm that federal government was still paying subsidy in fuel. And people, I was in the village. I think one of the paper reviewed. I said, Rufai doesn't say anything. It's not a careless talker. So we are saying it. Who used Wike to destabilize PDP in Rivers State? Who used Wike to win Rivers State presidential whatever? We know what happened. If I begin to tell you how it was, look at what happened in Rivers State. Wike is being used, and it was used, and is now enjoying the fruit of what he suffered, of what he led. So he's now the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, more or less a governor. Honestly, so he has his eyes. He makes sure that PDP doesn't survive. He makes sure that no credible person will come. And look at the strategy they're using. Any presidential candidate that is surfacing, they will slam one charge or the other against him. That was what they did in Edo State. All the prominent people, they were arrested, clamped down into detention before the Edo election. So, with what we are saying, I'm a grassroots person. I don't say what I don't know. I don't talk carelessly. I'm a national analyst. That is why if you don't like what I say, don't invite me to a studio. I've said it. So everywhere I go, here in the East, every north, they call me. So what I'm saying here is, if you want to dethrone a king is not to be dethroned. You must fortify yourself. You must speak in one voice. You must work as a team. You must blink your eyes you must work as the two eyes work. They blink together, they cry together, they laugh together. unless there is a unity in the political parties, they cannot dethrone the ruling party. Unless they are, as they are careless now, they are sleeping. Look, the election for 2027 has started. They've started planning it. And one of the ways to strategize is to make sure they weaken the opposition party. Infusing to them, do you know that it was allegedly, that some of those new political parties that came up, that the hearts of some of these people are there? So what are we saying? We are saying that unless we decide to come together to move this country forward, the ruling party, the few class people that are the ones that trouble Israel, will continue. But those of us, the masses, will continue to play politics of bitterness, hatred, tribalism, nepotism, and they will continue to rule over us. So it is not out of place for PDP to say that the ruling party is now destabilizing. There are some truth in it. Okay. But what are they doing themselves? When somebody is fighting you, why can't you sit down? The worst thing is in-house fighting, and that is what is happening. It was yesterday, it was Labour. Labour has, who is the chairman, who is not the chairman. Now it is, look at what happened. Very shameful thing in PDP secretariat in Abuja. Look at what happened. Look at what happened. Is that not shameful? And these are the people who have moral. Some of our children, some of their children, grandchildren, watch them beating themselves. That's shameful. Very shameful. So that's the strategy. Somebody somewhere laughing, saying, yes, our money is working. God help us.
God help us indeed. Well, Atiku Abubakar is accusing the presidency of paying a certain amount of money to cause instability within the party. El-Rufai is also saying that, the opposition party needs to stand up. They need to come together, form a coalition so that they can stand toe-to-toe with the ruling party. And in fact, he says that he doesn't have any confidence in the APC anymore. They've not been able to hold any meeting either. They've not come together. There's been no meeting, nothing whatsoever. So he doesn't even have confidence in the APC anymore. Their leadership is terrible. And is encouraging the opposition party to come together, pull their resources together so that they can actually usher the ruling party out. Of course, all of these allegations and all of these positions have been tackled by the ruling party. They've denied and debunked some of these claims, and they've also expressed disappointment with Nasir El-Rufai, the former Kaduna State Governor. It's still the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM. We're still looking at other stories. We'll open the phone lines very soon so you can also participate, but let's get through the rest of the story. Now, outside all of this, Mazi, there's been a conversation of Sharia in the Southwest. Now, although some sort of clarification has been provided time and again, in fact, almost every day, there's a new statement by a certain religious stakeholder that is explaining that this is not in any way supposed to tackle with the legal system or that we have in place or the provisions of the Constitution, that this is something of an Islamic arbitration panel that is supposed to deal strictly with domestic issues. They cannot even hear or try criminal matters. It is only binding on Muslims. And in fact, if as a Muslim you do not believe in the tenets of this provision, you don't even have to engage them. Now, there's been a lot of fear because even Southwestern leaders, in Ekiti State, in Oyo State, we heard Seyi Makinde put out a statement that he does not recognize any panel, any Islamic panel, that if you have domestic issues or if you have a problem, there is already provisions within the Constitution to deal with that. You can go to the police, you can sue the person to court. Why do we need to set up a panel? But then also, there's been conversations around the fact that there's been something like that has been set up in Lagos since 2002, 2003. And there's been no problem whatsoever in Lagos. So what is so wrong if it is replicated in other states of the Southwest? Mazi, what do you think about this concern of people about this Islamic arbitration panel? In fact, Mohammed Sanusi III said that even if they wanted to set up a Sharia court, that Section 275 of the Constitution actually provides that they can set up a Sharia court. But this is not even a court. This is just an arbitration panel. But people are afraid. The leaders of these southwestern states are expressing concern. What do you think about the concern that is being expressed? And do you think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with setting up an arbitration panel that they are claiming is not even binding on people who are not interested?
Yeah, talk is cheap. It is well said. But come to reality. the aim and objective of that thing will come to play. To me, there's no smoke without fire. There's no smoke. Before you know it, it will now be established all over the Federation. Forget about it, said it is purely for
domestic
for
issues,
Muslims.
yeah.
Yes.
For Muslims too.
But then, why we are a secular state, and we need to be, we are governed or being ruled by a constitution. My question is this: are we obeying to the dictates of that constitution? Are we obeying the contents of that constitution? The answer is no. So many things. If some people are raising concern about the arbitration, the difference between arbitration and court is 0.5 minimum. It's not much. And any case determined by arbitration is binding. Don't forget that. So if it is now being replicated or being established in Lagos far back as 2022,
2002.
2000, quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's quite a long time. Nobody has raised an eyebrow. Nobody has raised issue. Now, which means it is gradually coming on board, coming up. Before you know it, it will be the order of the day in other part of the southwest. And by extension, remember, we complain about this Muslim ticket. Anyway, that's not the area we're talking about. If the president wants it, established in southwest, all the southwest states, he will do it, regardless of, because the constitution, who are in charge of the judiciary, who will now say no, because Chidi Carlo complained about, he called it horrible judiciary, and we all said, this constitution, we don't need it. So many people have said the constitution is faulty. It was imposed on us. Who are we, the Nigerians? It was written and imposed on us by the military, and it favors some section of the country. Let us say it's loud and clear that this is not the constitution that will move this country forward. I stand to correct it. I stand to be corrected. I stand without any fear of contradiction. The present constitution we have cannot move this country, cannot achieve what we want, or the objective of the four-founding fathers. So to me, establishing either arbitration panel or Sharia court or whatever in Southwest, and especially in Lagos, since 2020, and nobody has, which means it is gradually coming up. Let them look. The state house of assembly. What are they doing? If they pass it into law, it becomes a law, and thereafter, just like Omoteko, that was passed into law and it became a law in the southwest. Gradually, it will be like that. So let them wake up if they don't want it. And my fear is this: if it is passed now in southwest, the whole state in southwest, gradually the APC control state in other parts of the country will follow suit. It's unfortunate. We don't need it. Personally, I don't need it.
All right. Let's move on to other stories quickly so that we're able to open the phone line and actually hear people's perspective. I mean, these stories are very popular stories, but we just want to, for the sake of those who probably don't remember the details, talk about it once again so they're able to contribute with enough information. Well, let's have a conversation, right, about the Omoyele-Sowore issue. It was our focus this morning, actually. That was what we spoke about this morning on our mainland focus after the newspaper review. But as you know, Omoyele-Sowore, although he has now been granted bail of 10 million naira, was taken to court on grounds of cyber stalking because he had made a tweet in December of 2024 that the IGP Egbetokun is an illegal IGP, according to him. And of course, you understand that this tweet was made out of the fact that he was referencing the amendment of the Police Act to extend Egbetokun's tenure, so he's able to serve 4 years, seeing as he clocked 60 years old. And we know that the retirement age in Nigeria is 60 years old, or at least 35 years of service. And after Egbetokun clocked 60 years old, the act was amended to accommodate him, to allow him to serve 4 years. Now, controversy started. Why are we adjusting the Police Act to accommodate one person? This adjustment, is it going to be replicated across board for others that come after him? Does that mean that as an IGP, even if you clock 60 years old, the Police Act now allows for you to still serve above the retirement age? And why is it that the situation of one man is the primary consideration for an adjustment of the Police Act? Now, that is the basis on which Msoɪṛᴜ, activist and politician, made that tweet. Now, his invitation by the security agencies was based on an interaction that he had with a policeman a few weeks ago. There was a video where he was interacting with a policeman, asking them questions as to why they were causing a roadblock, why they were causing traffic, why they were, searching people's vehicles, and what the problem was. He was invited on that basis, right? And then the next thing we heard was that he has now been detained and he's being charged with cyber stalking. There's questions around the manner in which he was invited, detained, and then charged. If that was what you were going to charge him for, why didn't you initially make it public that you are charging him or you're inviting him on the basis of cyber stalking or cyber crime? Why is it that you invited him on the basis of a video he recorded of his interaction with a policeman on the road, and then you, in the middle of that invitation, accuse him of cyber stalking, charge him to court, and then, of course, he first of all rejected, the conditions of the bill before the 10 million naira bill. And so, aside from that, the whole controversy around his invitation, detention, and the charge against him, people are now asking questions about that particular Cybercrime Act, Mazi. The Cybercrime Act, you had told us that you're putting it in place to, in a way, regulate the activities on social media. As you know, they said fake news is now everywhere. People just take that as an avenue to speak ill of people. There's libel, defamation of character, and so we need to put a cap on that, hence the Cybercrime Act. But the conversation is now, provisions of the Cybercrime Act is now used as a tool to attack individuals who say things that they don't like. What do you think about that notion? And also, what do you think about how this has affected Msoɪṛᴜ?
Well, you see, it's just when the government wants to rope you in, when the government wants to get you, it's just like giving a dog a bad name to hang him. Government can formulate all manner of charges against any person. They can arrest you and dump you anywhere. They can arrest you and fabricate all manner of accusations against you, including terrorism, including murder, including everything, and ask you to go and prove it in the day. Meanwhile, before you prove yourself, you have spent some days. Now, we talked about the cybercrime provision in the Constitution or the law, the Act. Does it include somebody making a statement against what is wrong? What is wrong and is bad. I heard you talk about how the police stop people, how police on the way check. Those of us that travel to the east and in other part of the country, we are seeing hell. Do you know that traveling from Lagos to east, any part of the east, takes you 14 hours, 14 solid hours? Not necessarily because of bad road, but because of police checkpoints, police, military, customs, local government. And what are they doing there? Collecting money. If he said, why must you? But then you remember, I think was in the other station or whatever, that said, the IGP said, all the state governors are in agreement of this, the checkpoints on the highways, which means they know that. Now, this young man has been in the eye of the government. Any statement he makes or any action, they will read contrary meanings to it. What did he say? Like what you said, a civil servant, you put in 35 years, you are due for retirement. Though they amended the clause that even that the president or who can now extend it to favor him. Not only the IGP. I think that was the head of service that was I don't know, whatever was extended sometime. So if the IGP, the present IGP, has clocked 35 years of service, why can't he go? If he has clocked 60 years of age, why can't he go? Is he the only person? But let me tell you, do you know why his tenure was extended? To oversee the 2027 election.
That's the allegation, Mazi. That's the allegation that has been put forward.
You see, let me tell you, when is it going to end? When is it going to end? When it was extended, from when to when? When is 2027 election? When is it coming on? When is it ending? And you can only tell a blind man there's no oil in the soup, not there's no salt. Even an experienced blind man can tell there's no oil, there's no salt, there's this. So we are not daft. We know that is that. What about the present INEC chairman? Even the former one. Even the former IG. A president will put in place a inspector general of police that will protect his interests. We put in place the chief, the security officer that will protect his interests. The service chief that will protect him. Nobody will bring someone that will not be. Why was Onago, the former chief justice of the federation, why was he removed? I think he has won his case in the court of appeal. They've now paid me everything. So these are the things we are talking about. These are the ills we are talking about. That his crime is that he said, why must he be so? His crime is because somebody in authority has amended the constitution, amended the act to favor him. So ordinarily, what they charge me, at the end of it, you see that they will
acquit him.
Yes, no, they may not acquit him. What they will do, maybe they will adjourn it indefinitely.
Oh, okay.
Which they may strike the case so that anytime they will not bring it back. What is happening in the country is bad, and that is why we cannot move forward. This man, when he says it, he's one of the Sahara reporters.
Yeah.
So that is a magazine or whatever, that platform is the eye of the government. So they are targeting whatever he says. It's not only him. What about Peter Obi? They have accused him so many things. That's why given any opposition party, any opposition person that come on board, the government must attack the president to make sure that he doesn't see the light of the day. And that is what is happening to this man. Not that he committed offense. Okay, look at now. He was granted bail of 10 million and given 24 hours to produce a shorty. I read where he said that it's an insult for them to ask him to produce a level 17 officer to grant him back, to sign his bail bond. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Why can't we go by the dictates of the Constitution? Even this one, Trump is doing. Some people are going to court, and they have no choice. It is when we obey the law of the land, we thrive. That's why we have problem with investors. They look at their laws. Do you obey their laws? They look at security. Look at how would they recover their investment. Some of all these things are what is driving our investors out. You don't obey your laws. Your constitution is not there. Anyone can wake up and amend the constitution to favor him, and that is what is happening.
Well, finally, before we start to take contributions, there are quite a number of messages already on our streaming platform. Let's talk about oil, right? There's been the NNPC and marketers imported 633 million liters of fuel. And this is news because we had hoped that now that the Port Harcourt refinery, the Warri refinery, and the promise of the Kaduna refinery coming on board had started, or at least that's what they told us, we would minimize importation of PMS and other derivative of crude into the country. But as it stands, at least 633 million liters were imported into the country. And in fact, the bulk of this importation was done by the NNPCL, the ones that promised that by the end of 2025, that was we would be a net export, 2024, I believe, we would be a net exporter of crude products. And so there's now conversations around is the Port Harcourt refinery and the Warri refinery really functioning like they told us? Because National Secretary Ipman had said, well, they investigated, they asked questions, why did you have to import this much? And that the answer that they got was that operations at the Port Harcourt refinery was still skeletal. And this is according to the Punch newspaper. So the concern is, like I said earlier, how can we attain this status of net producer and exporter of petroleum products? And what is the commitment to the production capacity of the country? How are we supposed to improve our forex earning? What is the state imported into the country by marketers and NNPCL was done in just the 4 weeks of 2020-2025. So how can we be confident in your promise that you'll be able to supply us, take care of our domestic needs? How can we be certain that your claim that the refineries are functional is true? And also, what is your commitment to production? What is your commitment to improving our forex earnings, since crude happens to constitute the majority of our forex revenue into the country? Mazi.
Sage, you see, all the questions you are asking me, or the public are asking, I think the government should answer these questions. In the first place, are the refineries actually working?
Well, NNPC says they are.
That's their own. That if they are working, why are they so important? We thought that with the establishment and the production coming from Dangote refinery, we will be able to have a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, what is crying is still crying. The ones produced locally here is more expensive than imported one. Today, Port Harcourt refinery is working. Tomorrow, it's working at a snail speed. The other day, Warri refinery is working. The other time, we are not sure it's working. Who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? For them to make us believe there must be level of credibility. This why they credible. That's the problem. You cannot rule or administer or even lead people with lies. Nigerians are tired of all these lies, front and back and front. We don't see if this is working, if this is real. By now, we're supposed to the price of fuel is supposed to crash. Today it is 950 naira. The other day it's 945 naira, and we are jubilating. We are not sure these things they are telling us is true. They are not fabricating this thing to buy time, to divert our attention from all these things. In the East, how much is a liter of fuel? In the East, how much is a liter of diesel? If you talk about exporting, you have not even fed your home. You are exporting. And that is why our foreign exchange will continue to be in deficit. Because we are not producing anything. We are not exporting anything. The other time I mentioned balance payment. But until when you have balance payment in the international market, it is when you are exporting, you are getting income. You are getting foreign exchange. You are trading. But nothing, including toothpick. What we have, in fact, including refined air, we are importing it from other countries. We are importing ordinary refined air because everywhere is polluted. If you are driving on the road, see these are degraded vehicles, destroying the society with their pollution. So to me, NNPC is not telling us because nobody is sanctioned. Nobody has been called order. Nobody has been asked come. A lot of corruption. Look at what Senator Adam Oshomole said. He talked about the mining going on in the north. He talked about illegal bunkering. He said the informant told him that they come with choppers. Are you saying who among the peasants, including me, do I have money to buy chopper? Do I have money to buy a tire? How much is the cost of tire now? So they come with the choppers. And he pointed out to some areas. He said military. And nobody. He said, go and tell your senior officer that he said it. Because no sanction. Because the law is meant for the poor people. The law is made for some certain areas, not to the generality of the country. When all animals are not equal, that's problem. In animals farm, all animals are equal, but there are some exceptions. That's the point. In a country where the constitution favors some sections, an NPC, how many persons? An NPC, it works today. When have they submitted the audited report? Tomorrow, when said they've not remitted billions of naira, tomorrow they say they are telling lies. Who are they deceiving? Until we get it right by getting credible people who are selfless, who are not greedy, who want to say that with this country, the welfare of the citizens is one of the important things a government should do. The government is not concerned. Go to the hospitals, you cannot get drugs. Go to anywhere. The high cost of living, look at a bag of rice. Nothing is done. Nothing is done. This country, I think we need to ask God, why is Nigeria like this? But then God will tell us that He has given us freedom of expression, freedom of everything. So to me, finally, on this segment, NLP is not telling us the truth. The independent marketers, they are not important. And they are saying this. Why is it that the imported product is cheaper than the one produced both by Dangote and an NPC? If an NPC is saying that the Port Harcourt refinery is working, and even though it's not working optimally, but there should be an improvement. There should be a corresponding decrease in price of fuel and diesel. But still the same thing.
Yes. Mazi, we will soon go on a break, like a 3-minute break. But when we come back from that break, I would like us to have a conversation around the desire of the president to ramp up oil production. And he has been engaging the Ogoni people to allow resumption of oil exploration following over 3 decades of pause because of the controversy that bedeviled that particular the place. A lot of things had gone wrong, health issues, the aquatic life is now non-existent, people are sick, the economy is in shambles, the quality of life is nothing to write home about, and a lot has been said about this. In fact, I'm going to play a particular soundbite. We'll go on break, we'll come back, then analyze that soundbite. The break is just about 3 minutes long. All right, so let's quickly listen to this soundbite so that when we come back, we'll have Mazi analyze, and then we can talk about it while simultaneously taking phone calls. It's the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM. Please listen to this.
From today onwards, Shell is declared persona non grata in Ogoni.
Government of Nigeria, alongside its allies, the multinational companies who have destroyed and killed a lot of people in the Niger Delta, should put aside $1 trillion for immediate cleanup of the Niger Delta.
We want them to also come and clean up our creeks, our rivers, our streams, so that those who are fishermen will continue fishing and have good livelihoods.
They should look passionately into the Ogoni Bill of Rights, of the legitimate demands of the people, which other ethnic nationalities are enjoying in abundance, even without having an oil well. Look at what oil money has done in Abuja that does not have one oil well. People that have oil can no longer eat. What I want President Tinubu to do is to stop the meeting that it's about having with Ogoni people and come to Ogoni land, to apologize to the Ogoni people, to listen to the plights of the Ogoni people, to see for himself how Ogoni look like, and not to just come and talk about oil, because he has promised the world that he's going to ramp up oil production to 2 million barrels, 3 million barrels. It is not Ogoni oil. There is blood on Ogoni oil.
This is the second time the president is inviting some stakeholders selected or known by him or by those close to him to the villa for a discussion that concerns the entire Ogoni people. We expect at this point in time, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will come to Ogoni and then come out for a stakeholders engagement meeting. If this happened in Osun State or Yoruba land, where the president comes from, I'm sure President Tinubu would have taken a very serious action.
There is no proper consultation with the people as regards why are we divesting? What does it mean to divest? How do we clean up the mess that their business have caused over the past 7 decades.
When the airwaves in your market become more and more crowded, it's time to break it open and really stand out. Broken Air is here.
On Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Lagos.
Oh my lordy.
Follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, on Twitter at Mainland FM. We are the sound of Lagos.
Oga Police, no worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home. That you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from Mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Ōpeyèmí Akínyòdé as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you, roommates, as we discuss the situations.
Welcome back. This is still the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. My name is Sage Babalola. I'm sitting in for Ōpeyèmí Akínyòdé. Today, Friday, the 31st January 2025. And for this last episode for the month of January, we decided to do a rundown of the most prominent stories that have been reported since the start of the week up until this very moment, both new and developing stories. And before we went on that break, I did play you a soundbite that contained the voices of prominent individuals in Ogoniland as they're discussing the consequences that the Niger Delta, the price that the Niger Delta have had to pay when it comes to oil exploration, oil that is used for the benefit of the entire nation. You did hear in that soundbite Celestine Akpobari. She's the team lead of People's Advancement Center. Also there was Prince Edegbo, who is the Resource Justice Manager of Social Action. There was also Imiabe Saviour, the Publicity Secretary, Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People. There's Kentebe Ebiarido, who is the Programs Manager, Coordinator, Oil Watch International, MMOCON. Also, the Executive Director, Kebekache Women Development Resource Center. These are the individuals who had spoken in that soundbite I played you. And I told you their name and their portfolio so you understand how significant they are to this conversation around the consequences of oil exploration on those in the Niger Delta. They've seen it firsthand. They live it every single day, and so you can see the passion in their voice. Mazi Chinedu Mobioha is still joining us. We would address this very quickly while simultaneously also taking your phone calls to hear your thoughts about the multiple stories that we have addressed, and also this conversation on Ogoni oil and the plan of the president to resume exploration in that area. Mazi, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes. So, Mazi, you can hear from that voice note and also the report, right? Their argument, Mazi, is that we're not saying don't come back. We're saying that at least compensate the people for the many years of suffering that they've had to go through as a result of this oil exploration. The 13% derivation fund that you claim to be paying, we're not seeing the benefits. Certain individuals have sat on that money. Even with the distribution, the VAT sharing formula, it doesn't favor us, since the oil that you get from us is what constitutes the majority of the revenue that you get for the nation. So why are we receiving something this small? And then there's also the conversation around the divide and rule tactic, of the center. Why are you talking to few individuals from Ogoni when you have the option of actually coming there and talking to the people that are actually affected, people who have lost their wives, their mothers, their brothers, and their sisters, and can no longer farm as a result of this oil exploration? What do you think about the many sides to this particular story?
Well, let me take you from the last point you raised. Why is he not coming there? Well, the president might not necessarily go there in person. If he has credible, sincere, and trustworthy people, he could send to discuss with these people. It might not be necessarily the president go there himself. But if he actually wants to succeed, his presence matters a lot. It gives credibility to what discussion. It goes there to sympathize with them, to identify with them in their suffering, in their sorrow, in their mourning, and whatever. It will give credibility to that. But you see what they are complaining? That whatever you say you are giving to us doesn't reach us. Just like what we are complaining about, this palliative. Come and dress us. Let whatever you are giving to selected individuals who are reaching themselves. You have to understand where they are coming from. Some of them are farmers. They no longer go to their farm. Some of them are fishermen. They no longer. If you go to Goni land, you weep. I've been there some years back. You can't drink water. You can't. Everywhere is polluted, and these are the hen that lays the golden egg. These are where you produce products that services the nation, where you make billions. Still, the community, the families are not benefiting from it. They are dying in hunger and poverty. They are saying, come to us. Come and talk to us. Come and give us something. And you are staying in Abuja or staying somewhere to have meeting with selected people. These are their complaints. But then, if you had listened to Adam Oshomole, the former governor of Edo State, he complained about that what comes from the south belongs to the federal government. But what comes from the north belongs to the north. I'm saying it, I'm not the only person who said it. Oshomole said it. He said, if you go to these areas, the oil bunker, there are military, the police, there are navy, everybody there, safeguarding, protecting, attacking, killing, arresting those who are doing illegal bunkering. But if you go to places like Zamfara, where the oil, the gold is being mined, then you see some people being protected, Chinese, mentions other foreigners who are mining there, and they sold it in dollars. It doesn't come to the federal government. Who will run that dual system of government, partiality, and succeed? I think the federal government should do what the former President Yar'Adua was trying to do. Call these people, go there, identify with them, and discuss with them. It was Yaradwan that established amnesty, whatever. And I don't know whether it is still sustaining. A situation where one person or few persons are selected, you think the community will be happy? The community will not be happy. The community that's supposed to enjoy, and they are not enjoying. Some free people, you gather them in Abuja or somewhere and give them, you think they will not succeed. And that is why these people are complaining. So my take about that is that the president listen to these people, attend to their requests, try to see a way to persuade them, but identify with them and do whatever they ask you to do.
Thank you very much, Mazi. It's about time for us to open the phone line. It's already buzzing. I am so sorry. We've actually eaten into the time that is meant for submission. So please, let's proceed with the calls. 091360000410 is the number to dial. We're live on Facebook. I see your messages as well. But you can send your message to Facebook and YouTube where we're streaming. Mainland 98.3 FM is how you find us there. You can also send a text message. 091360000430 is how you send us a message. Let's take our first phone call. Hello, welcome to the program.
I was about to.
I'm well, thank you.
Brother is fine. What do you mean?
Yes, he's fine. I'm just sitting in for him. There's nothing wrong with him.
Thank for holding for him.
Yeah,
how are you, my brother? We have Ambassador Musba here from Mushin.
Welcome.
Yeah. You see, to me, on the issue of the Ogoni, I think the problem of Ogoni are between themselves. Because some of their leaders are just collecting money. In expense of reach out to all the people. The most problem we are having is between ourselves. Okay? So me, I think the president called all the elders, and some are complaining that they are not representing them. So how do we sort out this issue? I think we should be sincere with ourselves in every community. I think the federal government needs to do a lot. Sanitize that place. Those common people there deserve good living. So I think the federal government should take the bull by the horn and go deep down to reach out to the necessary people so that place can be okay. On the issue of the PDP, if PDP are and so and complaining that the ruling party are giving money to destabilize them, kudos to the ruling party, because they say you don't put the house in order. If they put the house in order, nobody comes. And after I've told Atiku, come and prove it. Who gave this money? I think both of police, they are playing politics with themselves. And we the people, if you are ready to make things work, fine. If you are not ready, the ball is in our court.
Thank you very much.
Let's have all the meeting between ourselves.
Thank you.
How to take the politics.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. It's actually 1 minute, okay? So please let's do that so we can take as many contributions as possible. I already took out of your time, all right? Hello. Hello?
Sorry, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
My name is Lloyd calling from Yanakwaja.
Welcome.
The truth of the matter is that I keep on talking about bias every time when we call our program. People will call that the Nigeria they are doing their if they clean the southeast, they say they are doing their self. But if it happens in the north, they are not doing their self. Look at this president now. We are talking about Ogoni now. This man will go and appoint people that will be loyal to him. They are from that village. They will not access that village. You give them money because they are your colleagues, the politician. You will blame they will not give them the money. They will not do what they want to do. Then you will not be blaming the ordinary man on the streets. What are that? Because they know what they are doing. Like if they tell the president, I think you bring 1 minute out of the south now, you want to go bring Wike because you know he will dance with you. No one. So if you want to do genuine something, go to the village, appoint, talk to them, make them do and it. Not that you will appoint your own friends that will carry the money back to you.
Thank you.
Say you get people. Thank you, Sage.
Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate you. Let's take another call. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
My name is Robert.
Welcome.
The president or his delegation has to go to negotiate with them. It's not because of love. It's not because they love Ogoni people. No. It's because of the target of the oil they want to supply this year, according to their budget. They want to make sure they meet that quota. If they not able to surpass it. There are two different routes in Nigeria. One for the north, another one for the south. This government, not this government, so the Nigeria government has been giving the oil to the Ganja Delta for many years now. When I was small, it was FM up to today. They in the north, and that's all they used to develop Abuja, and every year they share the money every month to all the states in Nigeria. But in the north, they mind their good, use arm in the name of Boko Haram to kill innocent people, and they are surviving this thing abroad through shoppers. No problem. It's just a matter of time. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your call. Well, High Rep, that's the program that is in charge of cleaning up the Niger Delta and Ogoni. They recently awarded 300 Ogoni indigents with postgraduate scholarship. They're also planting mangrove, and they're also trying to establish healthcare centers that will cater to those who have fallen sick as a result of the ripple effect of oil exploration. And so the president is using that to, wave the white flag that, I'm serious about compensating you if you allow us to resume oil exploration. Will that be enough for the Ogoni people? Is yet to be seen. 091360000410 is the number to call. Let's take this one. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Hello. Yes, Alaji Subara speaking.
Welcome.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to ask your guest. I don't know whether it's listening.
Yeah, he is on the line.
He's on the line. Fine. He said, if you cannot, move us forward, leave us where we are. The question I want to ask him is that they should leave you where you are for some cabal to be, to be milking Nigeria, importing petroleum products on the ground of subsidy, and they should leave you where you are, where our refinery is not working. And look, somebody has to bail us out. You understand? Look, is it today Nigeria is now waking up? You see, this issue has been, our leaders have been bastardizing the economy. Look, you mentioned the Ogoni people now. Who is collecting the derivation of provision from federal government? Since many years back, since decades back, who among them is collecting it? And they sit down on it. Then on the issue of Sharia, the Westerners are not part of the Sharia. They are just saying it. You see, the Northerners, they have been using Sharia all along, and that is why they have been, using the capitalism government, enslaving their people. Cutting their hand on Sharia issue, making them miserable to the public. So the Western Nigerians are not part of that. That's my point. But your guest will answer that. Have a nice day.
All right, Mazi, do you want to respond to that?
Okay, let me respond to what I didn't say that they should leave us where we are presently. Let them leave us where they met us in 2015, where a bag of rice was sold for less than 10,000 naira, where a dollar is being exchanged for less than 200 naira. Not presently. So you see, if you don't want to take us to a promised land, at least where you met us, where there was no bad insecurity then. That's the area I'm talking about, not where we are presently. Right. You can't leave us permanently where you are. You are not bringing us, telling us that taking us to promised land. We are dying. We are suffering. Leave us, take us back to where you met us in 2015, where from here to east was less than 10,000 naira.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Thank you. Let me read a few messages on WhatsApp we have here. Good afternoon, Mainland FM. You're talking of vibrant opposition. Opposition parties are being careful to avoid being hounded by the party in power. Things will get clearer as we approach 2027. The suffering in the country has become unbearable. Shima from Surulere sent that message. We have here, good afternoon, Sage. Amade from Okwoba. If what Atiku said concerning the president giving 50 million naira to party to destroy their own party, that means that the president is allegedly using money to block people to not access other accusations. Remember the 300% salary increase for the judges and building houses for them in Abuja, the bishops and the pastors, and the giving money to anti-people protesters to disturb peaceful protests, the sharing of palliatives to party loyalists, which they will say was shared to Nigerians, the wasteful and unfruitful travelings, etc. So you can ask how there can be development when you use money for things like this. Like Derifaru said, you cannot bribe yourself into power and expect development. It's a shame that the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Again, we'd like to highlight that this is still allegation leveled, by the opposition, and the onus is on them to prove it. Just thought to put that out there. Thank you very much. We have another one here. Good evening, Sage Amazio Bioha. I'm very happy with what Trump is doing, and I'm saying this with respect to Africans and its leaders. Frankly, I'm not a Trump fan, but he's telling our people to stop collecting Bemo before voting so that we can get the right leaders to take us to the promised land. As for the 50 million naira accusation, nothing surprises me about our current president because it's something he can do 100 times over. The PDP should be ashamed of having Wike as a party man that is working for another party. Anyways, both parties are like Siamese twins. Nothing good can come out of them. Chike from Akute we have here. Good evening, Sage. Since the infamous announcement of fuel subsidy removal, the economy has been on standstill as hundreds of Nigerians are dying of hunger. Unemployment rate is on high speed. Manufacturing companies are relocating to our neighboring countries. The prices of commodities are also on the increase per minute. Yet, the labor leaders looked the other way, knowing fully well that corruption in the oil industry and foreign currency are the bane of the calamity that has befallen our dear country, Nigeria. The proposed labor strike should not be on the increase in the price of the telecom services, but it should be for compelling the government to bring back down the fuel pump price to the reach of the ordinary Nigerian and the political will to stop the corruption in our foreign exchange market. This is a message from Stephen Akimbisola from Ijegun at Lagos. Let me go back to taking phone calls. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Sage.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, my take is on the Sharia of the things. See, I want to maintain the stance that why do we need a Sharia court here in the Southwest? Can't the other courts handle matter of such? Why must it be a Sharia court that has to come to the Southwest? Because I've said it before. Back then, in 3 years ago, was it 2020 or 2021, when Deborah was lynched from the school, and when you even heard the article, when the reply article, when the article was like against it, and you heard it, that followed it, that they will not vote for him. So what did they do? Even though we see that most of those people in those videos, their faces were visible. What was the actions of those in charge authorities? Have they been punished? So all these Sharia courts, Sharia this and that. Please, anybody that have an issue, let's go through the main court. So why is the necessity of bringing back a Sharia court? I still want to maintain on that. So I for me, it's a no for me.
Okay.
Because most of these people here, you still have some Christians. Okay, in an issue where a place you have a lot of, it's not as if with them Southwest, some are Christian, some are Muslim. So if I'm now I'm being charged for something, I now took me to the Sharia court. Will I be with my kids with these neighbors? I'm a Christian.
You don't have to go. That's what they're arguing. That you don't have to go. It's not you. You're not forced to go if you are invited.
So in this issue of Deborah, is she not a Christian? Those people that have those beliefs that lynch her, don't they know that our belief is different from what they think? And they lynch her, and they even said they should bring out the body, let them burn her to death.
Let's take another phone call. Thank you so much. All right, let's allow other people as well. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Hello. Good evening to you.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
Thank you, madam. I greet my guest. My name is Lawata. I'm calling from Sudere.
Yes.
You see, for me, like our guest see that former governor of Edo State, Sɪᴛᴜ raised this issue. What is those who represent those areas, National Assembly, representative? What are they doing? My brother, my sister, these are the issues. This is the issue they're supposed to speak about. But they're also enjoying the dividends. They're not able to speak out. That they are supposed to be their primary duty. God bless you, Auntie me.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Let's take another phone call. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening to you.
Thank you very much. My name is Malam Bello Usman. I am calling from Redeemer.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to speak about the comment of Rotimi Amechi, the former governor of Rivers State, that says that the current president is not ready to hand over power if Nigeria does not work for it. By the grace of God, like me, I travel from here to my own state to vote this current government. By the grace of God, I also travel before 12 o'clock in 2027. If we voted him out, if he likes, he should remain. He will concede. We will vote him out. The power belongs to us. He cannot make himself president because he has only one vote, including me. That's because I have only one vote, but also, but by the grace of God, when time comes, time will tell. I don't need somebody like Rotimi or Nasir El-Rufai to tell me what to do. I will vote against. I will show the whole world that I voted him out. He Inshallah. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you very much. I'll take one more phone call. We'll just conclude with the messages that we have. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Hello. Good evening, Shay.
Good evening.
Evening. This is Sunday calling from Ufagi.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to just add, in addition of what maybe the last caller or the second to the last caller said about the Sharia court. My question is, this Sharia court, are they going to deal with only the Muslim, not the Christian, or what?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Yes. Islam is an Islamic arbitration panel only for Muslims. It doesn't have anything to do with Christian. That is the provision of the whole thing.
Fine, okay. Now, if a Muslim person now with a Christian person now clash, and the two of them were supposed to go to court, so where are they taking? Okay, they will take the Muslim own to their Sharia court, then they will
You don't have to go
to the national court.
No, you don't have to go. When they invite you as a Christian, you don't have to go. It's not binding. They can't arrest you. They don't have the power to try criminal cases. You don't have to go.
Okay, sorry. Okay, the last one is that girl that they killed at that time, that Deborah that they killed at that time, the people that killed her because she was a Christian, and the people that killed her, they stoned her to death, and they had her ablaze. She died. How many of those Muslim boys that were arrested and taken to the Sharia court, and in their Sharia court, what was the judgment in their Sharia court? We didn't hear anything. So, me, I believe that this their Sharia court, they are hiding their people when they commit crime. They are hiding them inside. And we will not get the matter again. There is no need. We don't need it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, that's all the calls that we can actually take for this evening. Mazi, let's hear your final word, please, if you can, in a minute, because we have the news in another minute. Your final word for the day.
I just want to appreciate you for having me on air. And by the grace of God, I will also be readily available to render my. It's my passion anyway. Giving back to the society what the society has given to me more than 60, 65, 70 years ago. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mazi. It's always a pleasure to have you, and thank you for answering us every time we call you, even on days where you have commitments, you adjust your schedules to accommodate us. We really, really appreciate you. Have a beautiful day, Mazi.
Pleasure.
Yes. All right. Well, that's everything we have for you. If you'd allow me 1 minute to quickly read the message on Facebook, because I promised I'll read it. So please let me keep my promise. John Bernard says, whenever I hear people calling the president a master strategist, I get annoyed because it does not even reflect in good governance. It is just about his selfish interest to remain in power without any meaningful achievement. The arbitration of Sharia law in the Southwest should be resisted because it will be the gradual implementation of Sharia law in the Southwest, and this is how it began in the North. All right, thank you very much. Well, your contributions are duly noted. We appreciate it. I mean, there's still phone calls coming in and still a ton of messages coming in, but then I did the best I could. Thank you so very much for your desire to be a part of every program that we bring on air. It makes us happy. It means that you're listening. It means you care about us, and it means that you're also as committed as we are to national development, to dialogue and national discourse. Well, Monday is another opportunity. I mean, the first episode of Situation Room in the month of February would air on Monday, so do well to join as well. 90 minutes of conversation from 4 p.m. all the way to 5:30 p.m. My name is Sage Babalola. Coming up at 5:30 is the global news. Don't go anywhere. We're at the Sound of Lagos Mainland 98.3 FM.